Hi everyone, welcome to Kole Sukailu, Real Aikaiwa Shadowing. Let's get started with today's shadowing lesson. Listen to today's real native conversation. Focus on the rhythm and shadow along. Hyomo, Ishoni, step up, Shimasho. Practice daily to master vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, and rhythm. Repeat. Try again and again. Zeiki. Shanaru no Toroku wo. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Okay, are you ready? Here we go.
So you're in the middle of an online meeting, the clock's ticking, and you need to wrap things up. You know, that awkward moment when you're trying to be polite, but also, get out of there. What are some smart ways to say, time to finish up in English?
Oh, yeah, it's a delicate dance, isn't it? You don't want to cut anyone off, but you also don't want the meeting to drag on forever. There's a way to nail this, for sure. And it's not just about saying, okay, bye.
Right? It's about being smooth, professional, and still kind of friendly. So what's the secret? Let's start with the phrases themselves. What's a go-to phrase you use when you need to wind things down?
Okay, so one I use a lot, and it works well, is I think we're just about out of time. It's polite, it's clear, and it gets the message across, right? You're not blaming anyone or being too abrupt. You're just stating the obvious, like, hey, time's up.
Yeah, I like that. It's not too harsh. It's pretty gentle, like you're on a glide path. What else you got besides saying we're out of time?
Okay, another good one is let's wrap this up. It's direct, but it's also a bit casual, which can work well depending on the team culture. It's just action-oriented, like let's just get this show on the road.
Definitely. It's that sense of, okay, let's get to the point without being rude, yeah? So when do you think is a good time to use this?
Yeah, when the main topics have been covered and you need that cue to move to the finish line, it's like saying we're at the last stop. Okay, so next up, you already go with you sure. That is all for today. It's simple, it's clear, and there's not much room for misinterpretation there.
It is, and it works, right? It's kind of a universal sign of the end. You've covered everything, so let's go home, yeah?
Exactly. It's like saying you were done here. It's like a full stop. But if you want to be a little bit more polite but still get your point across, I like to use, I am afraid our time is almost up.
Ah, that's a good one. The you sure I'm afraid part softens the blow, you know? It's like apologizing for the time constraint, even though you're not the one who made the schedule.
Right. It's all about tact. It shows that you are aware of the time and, more importantly, of the other people's schedules. You are not being callous. Okay, last but not least is, let's conclude this meeting.
Okay, so that's a more formal tone, for sure. When would you whip out that particular phrase?
Oh, for sure. This is when you've got a more serious or a more formal meeting. When you're dealing with clients or senior management, it's clear, it is professional, and it leaves no room for ambiguity. It's kind of like the end.
Right, so you're not ending on, okay, bye. You are ending on, who have formally concluded. So, that as 5 great ways to end a meeting on time. But how do you actually use them in a real scenario?
Absolutely. It's not just about reciting the phrases, right? It's about timing. So, if you are trying to end a meeting, but you still have 1 or 2 more topics, you have to be very subtle. I think we're just about out of time, so maybe we can quickly touch on this topic and then wrap up.
Yeah, that's a good way of managing expectations. You're letting them know you are gonna conclude, but you are not abruptly jumping. So what's next after that?
Well, if the conversation's getting a bit circular, or if you've hit all your key points, you can say, okay, let's wrap this up, unless anyone has anything else they really need to add. This gives them a final opportunity to speak, but also signals the meeting is ending.
Ah, that's clever. Giving people the space to speak, but also putting the ball in their court to not extend the meeting. So if you see people's minds drifting, it's a clear sign. So how about, that's all for today?
Yeah, that's like the final curtain call. Okay, we're done here, see you at the next one. And then sometimes, you feel like you're cutting short or you want to be extra polite. That's when you bring in, I'm afraid our time is almost up, but we are just about done with the agenda.
I love that, the gentle way of bringing down the curtains. But what if it is a really formal meeting? That is when you bring in, let's conclude this meeting.
Precisely. Let's conclude this meeting is your formal exit line. You'd use that when you need to be extra professional, like with the executives or new clients.
Okay, this is all super helpful. So you're not just cutting them off. You are leading them to a gentle conclusion. So these phrases can save you from those awkward moments, right?
They do. They really do. And remember, it's not just the words themselves, but how you say them. Be confident, be clear, but be friendly. This is what makes you a smooth operator in meetings.
That's great advice. It's all about the delivery. So let's do a quick recap. What were those 5 phrases we discussed?
Okay, so we have, I think we're just about out of time. Then we have, let's wrap this up. Next up was, that's all for today. And then we had, I'm afraid our time is almost up. And finally, the very formal, let's conclude this meeting.
Perfect. So there you have it, 5 smart ways to say, time to finish up in English. Use them wisely, and you will nail the ending of every meeting.
All right, we've finished today's lesson. How did you find it? 今日も少しずつ step up できましたね。本当にすごいです。Please let me know your thoughts or requests in the comments. And ぜひチャンネルの登録をよろしくお願いします。I'm looking forward to seeing you all again. 明日も一緒に頑張りましょうね。See you next time. Bye bye.